Hey and good day, welcome back to another video. So for today we are currently on our first and maybe last holiday of the year, just because I know you guys know that I'm pregnant. So yes, today we are in a different country. We are in Spain, Barcelona to be exact, and we're gonna be exploring. Hopefully there's gonna be some nice things that Barcelona can offer. And yeah, as usual, I'm gonna be taking you guys with me, so hope you guys enjoy this video. We have landed safely in Barcelona. It was Easter Sunday and we headed straight to our hotel. We checked in safely, which was fine. The lady were able to speak English, which was easier for us, and we managed to settle our things down. We then realized that because it was Easter Sunday, a lot of shops were closed, so we didn't have an agenda planned during the day. It was already afternoon, so we decided to go for a walk. The weather was perfect during that day. The temperature was averaging between 19 to 22 degrees, which at some point it felt like home, the Philippines. The sun was beaming and it was getting really hot and we were getting hungry. So we came across this small cafe which served some pastry and some paninis, some breads and coffee and some cold drinks. We of course had to try some of their treats. After walking from our hotel, we ended up in La Rambla and Plaza Catalunya. We ended up having a really great walk, but in the end we got really tired and we decided to take a cab or taxi or an Uber to go back to our hotel and rest. We didn't really get enough sleep as we left our house around 2 a.m. that day, and yeah, we just wanted to rest. Hey guys, good evening. So we went back to the hotel after we had a walk at La Rambla, and we realized that on Easter Sunday a lot of shops were closed, so we had to order takeout. My boyfriend is resting. Our body clock is so messed up. Not in a way because of the time difference, because there's only 1 hour time difference, because we had an early flight. So yeah, we'll just continue the vlog tomorrow. See you! On our next day, it was again another beautiful day. It was sunny and the sun is once again beaming. As we admire these beautiful buildings, we are now heading to the most iconic building in Barcelona or Catalunya, which is the Sagrada Familia. When we arrive, we are in awe of the structure of this building. I won't bore you with the details, but you really need to see it in person. We headed inside and the structure just keeps getting better and better. We recommend seeing it in person once in a lifetime. Truly, it is amazing. It is a building worth admiring as a lot of work was put into it. Gaudi's work is amazing, whether it's inside or outside. The exterior and interior of the Sagrada Familia is exquisite. As we admired the internal details of the building and spent a good time inside, we headed outside to see more of the exterior design. Every corner from the door to the ceiling was made to perfection, hence why the building and renovation are still ongoing. We spent a good few hours sightseeing the Sagrada Familia and we headed to a bus tour right after. We ended up in Port Vell, where we had our first paella. The weather was so warm, so we decided to dine out in the restaurant's patio. We then continued our bus tour and made a stop at Barcelona to walk off the full meal that we had. The beach was so crowded and everyone seems to be having a great time. The last stop of our bus tour was at Plaza Catalunya, which is right next to La Rambla, where we had our supper. We of course had to try some of their tapas like croquette and patatas bravas. Unfortunately, I was not able to try their famous hamon as I am still currently pregnant. The following day, more of the shops are back to their usual business hours, and we headed to the famous La Boqueria market. Looking at these colorful mixture of fruits just makes you want to eat them there and then. It is so welcoming as it's the first thing that greets you as you enter the market. There are varieties of food to try out like their famous and different kinds of hamon, some seafood like these oysters, some sweets and treats, their poultry selection, a variety of empanadas and sweet and salted potatoes, and their nuts and spices. We had our breakfast at El Quem. From watching plenty of YouTube videos to living the actual food trip reality, we were so happy to try out this kind of food. You have to try their famous baby squid. It is so yummy and we actually went back a few times to eat this again. We took our time eating there as we know our day ahead will be full of touring around again. We were so glad we were able to capture these moments. We were already discussing coming back to this city to try out more of their cuisine. Our next destination was the famous Park Güell. We recommend booking your ticket in advance to skip the long queue and of course arrive early. The park was huge and plenty of ascending pathways. Bring comfortable shoes if you plan to come here. Of course, don't forget to enjoy the beautiful sceneries and make a wish at the famous lizard fountain. We did another bus tour after visiting Park Güell. We got so tired as it has been a long day. For supper, we ended up at a local restaurant nearby our hotel. We were shocked at the big portion and how affordable this food were compared to places near the tourist spots. Plus, you can really taste the authenticity of these Catalonian dishes. We took our time just talking as a couple and enjoy each other's company. After our delicious meal that night, we went for a short walk, bought a few snacks at the local supermarket and headed back to our hotel to rest for the day. The following day, we didn't really have anything planned. We decided to have a chill day after a full-on back-to-back tour. We decided to go back to the market to have brunch. Plus, it was a request my partner had to make as he wanted to eat the baby squid once more. We also tried the famous gazpacho soup, a tomato-based soup served cold in the morning. I must say I did like it. Having been in the market, we decided to have a walk and get lost at the different alleyways of the Gothic quarters. There, ancient buildings were beautiful. Some were maintained to their original state, however, it was a shame that the lower doors or entrances of each building were tainted with graffitis. Some say these added a character in the buildings, and some say it's art, but I preferred looking at the history of the building itself. As we walked along the Gothic quarters, we came across the famous Bishop Bridge. The bridge was built for the purpose of beautifying the Gothic quarter. It was the only one designed and built during the Barcelona International Exposition in 1929 as architect Juan Rubio y Belver proposal to build new Gothic-style buildings were rejected. We didn't plan to go out for long, but we decided to continue with our walk and see the Barcelona Cathedral as it was nearby. After all, we didn't really know when exactly are we going to be back in Barcelona. Despite the gloomy weather, we were glad we took this path and see all those sights. After the long walk at the Gothic Quarter, Bishop Bridge and Barcelona Cathedral, as well as look at some of their local shops, we then decided it was time to try out some more food, so we looked for some famous Catalonian dessert instead. We ended up having some churros dipped in chocolate and creme catalana. You must try these desserts if you ever plan to visit Barcelona. Most of the restaurants in Plaza Real serve these dishes, and this is where we ended our walk tour of the day. We were happy that it was not a planned tour, as we were able to take our time. The rest of the day, we went shopping for some souvenirs and gifts for our family, and then we went back to our hotel to rest. After having a rest and a back-to-back tour with eating as many Catalonian dishes as we can, we decided to have Filipino food for dinner. Luckily, upon researching, there was one restaurant near our hotel. I can't say this restaurant did not disappoint. Really reminded me of a home-cooked Filipino dishes back in the Philippines. On our last day, we headed to one of the highest points in Spain, Montserrat. I made an honest mistake when checking the weather heading there, as I did not realize there was 2 Montserrat destinations in the whole of Spain, so it was raining heavy that day. Despite of the very gloomy weather, we went ahead and did our tour. We took a train from Plaza España and then we took Aire de Montserrat, or the cable car, up in the mountains to the monastery. Half of the mountains were visible as we got there, but the weather was not having it. The clouds were very low and it kind of reminded us of the movie called Silent Hill. The visibility even became as low as 0. As you can see here, the clouds were very close to us. We headed inside to check the interior of the monastery. It was really holy and really signifies a Roman Catholic church. We also had the opportunity to see Our Lady of Montserrat, where they said your prayers and wishes can be granted. You can see it up close and personal, but unfortunately due to the pandemic, it was kept and sealed in a wall glass panel, so we were not allowed to touch it. Lastly, we headed outside, donated some money and lit a candle to send prayers to our family, friends, loved ones, and to also thank the Lord for giving us the opportunity to travel to such destination. Overall, our trip to Barcelona, Spain was a success, and we definitely would want to come back with our little ones in the future. We hope you enjoyed this kind of video, and we thank you all for sticking by. As always, we shall see you on our next vlog.